Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Arizona.
Tonight in Los Angeles, it's time to set some records on this Roberto Clemente Day. D-backs going for their 13th straight win, their 4th consecutive series sweep, and their 2nd sweep in a row over the Dodgers. The D-backs brooms are out. Let's make it a Hollywood ending tonight on Fox Sports Arizona. Good evening from Dodger Stadium. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthume and Bob Brenly along the way. It's the fight for postseason, and the D-backs tonight will try and do something they've never done before, win 13 games in a row. Yasmani Grandal must not have noticed. He said last night the Dodgers know they're the better team, but Bob, it's the D-backs who are only 3 innings away from making Major League history.
Yeah, setting an all-time record for most consecutive innings played without being behind in a ball game. And there's a lot of reasons for it. Obviously, you have to pitch well in order for that to happen. The Diamondbacks pitching staff has held the opposition to a 1.98 ERA over the last 12 games. Opposition hitting only 183 against D-backs pitchers. And the Diamondbacks have hit 25 home runs over those 12 games. So a lot of things coming together at the right time.
Let's complete the 2nd straight series sweep against the Dodgers and make it a franchise record. 13 wins in a row. First pitch is coming up next on Fox Sports Arizona.
Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by Gila River Casinos. Earn rewards 10 times faster than ever before with the Card by Gila River Casinos. Sign up for the Card today. By Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz. By Jack in the Box and the Jumbo Jack, a home run for your mouth. And by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. Sports Arizona is brought to you by your Valley Honda dealers, where you get more standard features for less money. By Tire Pros, everything rotates around you. By Gigablast, internet from Cox. Get ready for the gig life. By Oregano's, step up to the plate for a guaranteed home run. At Oregano's, your neighborhood pizza joint, location statewide. By Phoenix Raceway, see Dale Jr.'s final West Coast race at the Can-Am 500 November 12th. Tickets at phoenixraceway.com. And by State Farm, here to help life go right. Talk to an agent today or call 1-800-STATE-FARM.
It's the final D-back Dodger game of the year until October anyway. Kenta Maeda against Taijuan Walker. First pitch next on Fox Sports Arizona.
The sweep. He shut out an opponent for the 7th time this year. The D-backs are the first team this season to sweep LA. And the Diamondbacks lead their 3rd straight series sweep, all against division opponents. The Diamondbacks have tied a franchise record with their 12th consecutive win.
And tonight, the chance to create some history as they go for 13 straight wins, a new franchise record. A nice night here. Temperatures in the upper 70s. Steve Berthume, Bob Brenly, and Jody Jackson with you. It's our final game this year, at least until October, against the LA Dodgers. And here's the Diamondbacks starting lineup tonight. It's presented by your Valley Chevy dealers.
David Peralta once again leading it off in left field. Chris Iannetta in that 2 spot doing the catching. Jake Lamb will be at third base. J.D. Martinez out in right field. Daniel Descalso filling in for Goldie at first base this evening. A.J. Pollock will be out in center field. A bottom third of Brandon Drury at second base. Ketel Marte at shortstop. And Taijuan Walker, the right-hander, on the mound.
Right-hander Kenta Maeda, your Ram truck starter for LA tonight, 12-6, an ERA of 4.19. Maeda faced the D-backs last week at Chase Field and lasted only 3 innings.
Full arsenal of pitches for Maeda. Throw 3 different fastballs, a 4-seamer, a 2-seam sinker, and a cutter. Has a curveball, slider, changeup. Early in the season, he was basically a breaking ball pitcher. Was really afraid to challenge with his fastball. He's been a little more aggressive with the heater lately.
Nationwide Vision Centers gives us a look at the Dodgers defense.
Curtis Granderson will be out in left field this evening with Jock Peterson in center field and Yasiel Puig in right. Justin Turner and Chris Taylor on the left side of the Dodger infield with Chase Utley and Cody Bellinger on the right side. Yasmani Grandal doing the catching for right-hander Kenta Maeda.
A couple of new umpires in this crew for the series finale. Chad Fairchild has the balls and strikes. He's your plate umpire. Alfonso Marquez, the crew chief, is at first. Nick Marley at second, and Tim Timmons is at third. Final time in the regular season between the D-backs and the Dodgers. So, BB, what do you have for your Valley Honda dealers key to the game?
I like these winning streaks. It makes the key to the game on the final game very easy. Sweep! Notice the 4 exclamation points. It would be the 4th straight series sweep for the D-backs.
All against National League West Division opponents. Last time the D-backs swept the Dodgers in 2 consecutive 3-game series, September of 05, so it's been just under 12 years. We are set to go for the final time in the regular season. The Diamondbacks and the Dodgers on a nice night here in LA. David Peralta leads it off, and we're underway with strike 1. David batting .296. He's got 13 home runs. Hitless in the series. He walked in his only plate appearance last night. Dodgers have the shift on. Taylor, the shortstop, on the first base side of second, and Utley back on the outfield grass at second base. And Peralta knocks one the other way. Dunks it into short left, a leadoff single.
Catcher number 8, Chris Iannetta.
Nice opposite field approach there. Just kind of massage that ball out there over the head of Chris Taylor in front of Curtis Granderson. Good start for the D-backs.
Another start batting second in the lineup for Chris Iannetta, the catcher tonight. 240, 14 home runs. Last night 0 for 3. He did walk twice. He led off the 10th inning with a walk against Pedro Baez. Chris Herman came on to pinch run and wound up scoring what turned out to be the winning run. On a ball that we later discovered, thrown by Justin Turner, hit Chris Herman and rolled back toward the Diamondback dugout. Scored 2 runs. That was initially ruled E2, the error on the catcher Yasmani Grandal. They changed it to E5, the error on Justin Turner. Grandal back there again tonight. Base hit up the middle. 2 singles get the Diamondbacks started, and the next up is Jake Lamb. I like the way this is going.
Third baseman number 22, Jake Lamb.
Beginning of some shock and awe here.
Every journey begins with but a first step, or something like that. Jake Lamb, 256, 27 home runs, 97 RBIs. Jake singled twice, walked in Monday's win here. 0 for 2 last night, got into the game late. And the Dodgers will leave the shift on. Still 3 defenders on the right side of the infield.
Yeah, the wind really hasn't been a major factor here at Dodger Stadium in these 3 games, but it is blowing straight out tonight. Those are huge flags out there in center field, and it's got to be blowing pretty good to get them to move, and it is blowing straight out.
It is noticeably cooler here tonight than it has been all week. We flash back. Lamb, Maeda, advantage Diamondbacks. Jake has hit 6 home runs against the Dodgers this year. Hits this one to deep center field. Peterson backing up at the track at the wall, and he's got it. The runners will have to hold. Jock Peterson just brought back up for the minor leagues yesterday. Makes a very good catch against the wall in dead center. Well, you were just mentioning that wind.
Yeah, I was hoping that wind would push that ball a little bit. Jake hit it good to straightaway center. Peterson tracking it all the way back to the wall. Makes a nice leaping catch up against the wall. Really a tough play for the base runners right there. You're not sure if that ball's going to get out of the ballpark. Is it going to stay in play? Will Peterson be able to make a play on that ball? Is it going to hit the wall and come back into play? David just kind of got out there halfway and tried to read it. Peterson made a nice catch, and all David could do was go back to second.
A chance for J.D. Martinez. 284, 34 home runs. J.D. doubled and scored a run last night following his historic 4-homer game here Monday, the first ever in this ballpark's history. Maeda in immediate trouble. A lot of confusion with Justin Turner at third and the rest of the infielders getting signals and shouts from the Dodger dugout who's supposed to go where. And now they are finally set to go.
Yeah, we saw it with Cody Bellinger in center field last night, moving from left center to right center, back to left center, sometimes pitch to pitch.
It was quite a sight watching Bellinger in his first start all year in the big leagues in center, waving his arms out there all by himself, trying to get someone's attention. He's at first base tonight.
Yeah, a little more comfortable tonight, a position he is very familiar with.
Utley standing on the second base bag, holding Peralta on there almost like a first baseman. Now he backs off a bit. Real cat and mouse game going on out there. That one's fouled off and it's 0-2. JD has hit safely in 8 of his last 9 games. He's got 8 home runs over that stretch. 4 of them, of course, coming here Monday night. That was something to see.
Oh, it really was. And you had the feeling if he would have had another at bat or two, he probably would have kept hitting him. He was just that locked in.
Of course, should have asked him today, but what we assume was the magic bat got broken late in the game last night, the one that Cooperstown wanted.
Now the barrel flew about 20 rows up into the bleachers behind the Dodgers dugout on the third base side. They were able to retrieve it. I'm not sure if that one's headed for Cooperstown or maybe another one of his bats.
Boy, Maeda and Grandal cannot get together on these signs. Here's the 0-2. That's back to the backstop and everybody moves up.
One thing about Kenta Maeda, he does not come inside on right-handers very often. He tries to work away, both with fastballs, that time a slider that just got too far away from Yasmani Grandal. This doesn't seem too willing to challenge right-handed hitters from the middle of the plate in.
One out, second and third, 1-2 on JD Martinez. Almost threw another one back there. Very shaky start for Kenta Maeda. He was hit hard by the D-backs last week. Chase Field, 7 runs, 8 hits. He lasted only 3 innings for Dave Roberts. And the Diamondbacks have seen plenty of Kenta Maeda. They are facing him for the 5th time this year. He is 0-2 against the Diamondbacks this season. Struck him out. Fastball down and away. Well, you rarely ever see Kenta Maeda challenge a big league power hitter with a hard fastball.
First baseman number 3, Daniel Descalso.
At least he challenged in a good location for the Dodgers that time, off the plate away, far enough that JD couldn't get the barrel to it.
A chance for Daniel Descalso. 243, 9 homers and 46 RBIs, both career highs. Daniel walked, had an RBI double last night. He started the scoring in the 4th inning. Second and third, 2 outs. Fly ball left center. Peterson coming in. And now will give way to Granderson. Yes, he made the catch. Curtis Granderson, a late break. Peterson quit on it, and Granderson able to slide in from left field. And third base umpire Tim Timmons signals catch. He snow-coned it. Diamondbacks strand 2. strike first. Now they'll hand the baseball to your Ram Truck starter tonight. It's Taijuan Walker. 8-7, a 3.42 ERA. Taijuan with wins in his last 2 starts. He beat the Giants and the Rockies.
Yeah, really good against the Rockies at Coors Field most recently. 5 innings of shutout baseball, gave up only 3 hits, struck out 10 Rocky batters in that game.
Dodgers lineup is brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Chris Taylor leading it off at shortstop. Curtis Granderson with a fine tumbling catch out there in left field to end the top half of the inning. He'll bat second. Justin Turner at third base. Cody Bellinger at first base. Yasmani Grandal behind the plate. Yasiel Puig back in the lineup in right field. Chase Utley will be at second base. Jock Peterson in center, and Kenta Maeda, the right-hander, on the mound.
Dodgers come in having lost 5 straight games in 10 of their last 11. Their division lead down to 11.5 games over the Diamondbacks. And Chris Taylor will lead it off. That was a tremendous sliding grab at the last instant there by Curtis Granderson to save 2 runs.
I think Curtis Granderson was fooled by Jock Peterson in center field also. I thought that was Peterson's ball off the bat.
Just a lazy, harmless fly ball to left center there for most of it.
And all of a sudden, Granderson just came streaking out of nowhere to make that sliding catch. I'm not sure Peterson saw it at all.
Chris Taylor having a fine season. 303, 19 home runs. 1 hit in the series. He singled last night. That one goes right through Lamb at third. It rolls down the line, and Taylor is in at second. And Jake a little shaken up on that one.
Jake's playing in to protect against a possible bunt. That ball just ate him up. Might have hit him on the wrist or the left forearm somewhere before ricocheting into foul territory. Taylor ends up at second base.
They roll to base hit. 33rd double for Chris Taylor. And here's Curtis Granderson. .211, 23 homers, 0 for 4 last night for the Grandy man. And now it's Taijuan Walker who's in immediate trouble. That ball was smoked at third by Taylor. Curtis Granderson hit a few homers early for the Dodgers after he came over from the Mets in the middle of last month, including a home run against the D-backs at Chase Field. But right now he is stuck in a 3 for 44 pit of despair. That's fouled back, and it's 1-1. 16 games with LA since the trade from New York. Only 6 hits as a Dodger, but 4 of those hits are homers. Interesting what we've seen so far very early in the game from Taijuan Walker. He came out on the attack last Friday in Denver. He was throwing hard, a lot of fastballs early. In fact, his first 8 outs recorded at Colorado last week came on strikeouts. So the Dodgers, you could guess, might be looking for early fastballs from Taijuan tonight, and so far he's not thrown many.
That's part of the old they think that I think that they think that I think that I'm going to throw fastballs tonight, but I'll cross them up. I mean, it's just a common thing you go through over the course of a long season, especially when you have back-to-back series against the same team. They know what you have. They just recently seen it.
2-2. And Taijuan was impressive in his last start at Coors Field. On the attack early. 5 scoreless innings, 10 strikeouts. Prior to that, 1 run, only 4 hits, and 6 1/3 in beating the Giants at Chase Field.
There's a fastball up. Granderson lays off, and it's full 3-2.
I've talked in the past about Dave Duncan in the days when he was a pitching coach for Tony La Russa, not only in St. Louis but in Oakland before. I really feel that they would go back and look at a starter's last start, look at his last start against the opposing team, and then come up with a game plan that was completely different.
Way up in the air. It'll stay in the yard for J.D. Taylor's at second, and he will tag and head for third. Here's the throw over the head of Lamb. Taijuan is right where he's supposed to be, backing up. Martinez airmailed the throw into third, but Walker was right there.
That's a situation where you don't have to worry about the cutoff man. There's no trail runner that might move up 90 feet if you overthrow the cutoff man. So go ahead and airmail it out all the way to the base over Jake Lamb's head. But as you mentioned, Taijuan Walker, perfect position to back that play up.
Great work by our crew to give you that picture of Taijuan. Oftentimes pitchers just forget to do that, right? Or
yeah,
a little brain cramp.
A lot of pitchers in Major League Baseball just end up spectating on the mound as the play develops around them.
Taijuan's not there. It's 1-0 LA. Here's Turner, second in the National League in hitting. 18 home runs. Had a single Monday, his only hit in the series. He was 0 for 4 last night. The Red Menace. Last night's 0 for snapped a 9-game hitting streak for Turner. 2-0. Key for Taijuan is always fastball command. And for much of the summer, it seemed like he would kind of work into his velocity. Start out low 90s with his fastball, kind of work up from there. But in the last 2 starts, he's been aggressive and attacking early. And we've seen mid and upper 90s velocity already here in the first. But he's behind on Turner, 3-0. Cody Bellinger, second in the league in home runs, on deck. Fouled straight back, another hard fastball. If there's an advantage for Taijuan tonight, it's that LA has not seen him since the first month of the year. 2 starts this year against the Dodgers, both in April. A win and a no decision. Iannetta finds it. Turner takes the walk, and here comes Bellinger.
First baseman, number 35, Cody Bellinger.
Big hand for the rookie. 270, 36 homers. He singled last night, his only hit in the series.
Normally you'd say a walk to Justin Turner in that situation is not the worst thing that can happen because it sets up a potential inning-ending double play, but Bellinger doesn't hit a lot of ground balls. He did ground out to first base last night, hit a 1-hopper to shortstop in game 1 of the series, but he usually gets some lift on his swing.
Fastball away, missed, 1-0. Marte and Drury both on the first base side of second. Lamb the only defender on the left side. A good example, these first 2 pitches to Bellinger, of what Taijuan Walker has done against left-hand batters. He's had a lot of success, especially since the All-Star break, challenging lefties with that fastball. That's been his primary strikeout pitch against left-hand batters. And we've seen 2 fastballs so far. Here's the 1-1. On the ground to second. Drury for 1. Marte, and they can't turn it. Taylor scores, and it's 1-0 Dodgers. So much for history. There goes the hitting streak.
Really tough double play to turn out of that exaggerated pull shift. That's the shortstop playing right behind the bag. Brandon Drury had to go a couple steps to his left and then deliver the ball to Marte, and Cody Bellinger just runs way too well, able to beat out the relay for an RBI fielder's choice.
And the batter is Yasmani Grandal. The homer last night, that was LA's only run. Bellinger will run a bit. He's got 9 stolen bases on the year. Yasmani Grandal always seems to be a difficult out for the Diamondbacks. A .370 hitter versus the D-backs this year, and a couple of homers. Two 2-0, and it's a 20-pitch first for Taijuan Walker. So far, more balls than strikes. Another fastball to a lefty, and it's 2-1. Left-hand side, as we saw last night, Grandal's power side, switch hitting catcher. 17 of his 19 homers have come as a left-hand batter. All the streaks and the talks about 13 wins in a row and 90 innings and all that, we forgot to mention no Goldie.
Who?
Haven't missed him fortunately yet, but Troy Lavello getting Goldie one more day out of the lineup tonight with a built-in off day tomorrow. He is available to hit tonight. So he has not played since Saturday in Colorado, and theoretically could get the rest of tonight off day tomorrow, come back Friday against San Diego.
He may not be in the starting lineup, but I guarantee you Dave Roberts has his name circled on his lineup card.
Tapped to second. Drury comes in from the outfield grass, and they retire Grandal, but it's the Dodgers who get the early lead. D-backs trail it 1-0.
Jackson with you. A little bit more on Paul Goldschmidt, who once again, as Steve and Bob mentioned, is out of the lineup here tonight. Torey Lovullo saying, look, he came in and told me he felt better, he could be in the lineup, but it's his decision. He said he's going to leave him out of that lineup with an off day tomorrow. I did ask Goldie, though, today as we got an update. He said, look, he's doing treatment on it. It is feeling better. He was asked yesterday about potential surgery on anything that would need to be cleaned up. Torey Lovullo was, and Torey knew nothing of that. I asked Paul, he said, look, no, it was a free look at the elbow with that MRI, and it was exactly what trainers, said, basically confirming what they said. It was just inflammation, no other issue in there, so should not be anything that is long-term. It's getting better with rest, and hopefully we see him this weekend at Chase Field.
Yeah, you're right, Jody. Fingers crossed. The more time off, the better you got to figure for Goldie as AJ leads off the second.
Well, especially for a guy that had only missed 2 games all season before this injury cropped up. So yeah, he could use a little bit of a blow here before the stretch run.
There's a little tapper to shortstop. Taylor comes in, juggles it, almost throws it away. A nice play there by Bellinger. And AJ's aboard at first.
Second baseman number 27, Brandon Drury.
That's what speed will do. Any mishandling whatsoever of that baseball, and AJ's probably going to be safe over there at first base. Taylor fielded that ball off the heel of his glove, got away from him momentarily, and that's all it took for AJ to reach.
That is an E6. Error on the shortstop. Taylor puts Pollock at first. Here's Brandon Drury. Brandon, 268, 12 homers. He homered Sunday in Denver and again Monday night here in Los Angeles. That's a strike, says Chad Fairchild. Seems to have caught Brandon by surprise. Drury walked twice last night. He was 0 for 3. That snapped a 6-game hit streak. Fastball missed. It's 1-1. Maeda might be a tricky matchup for Drury. Brandon has been hitting a lot of ground balls on breaking pitches since the All-Star break, a lot more than league average. And Maeda throws a lot of sliders. So you're looking to avoid the double play right here. Tried to tie him up inside. Another fastball missed. It's 2-1. D-backs looking for their 4th consecutive series sweep. That would be a new Diamondbacks record. They have not swept a 3-game series here at Dodger Stadium since May of 2013. So it's been more than 4 years. Torey Lovullo's ball club, a 12-game winning streak, tying a franchise record. 5 of those wins have come against these Dodgers. AJ got a huge jump, swing and a miss by Drury, and Pollock is in standing up at second. That's a Dave McKay special right there.
Yes, indeed it is. Saw something in Maeda's delivery that was a trigger for the runner to break for second base. AJ saw it and took off. Even a throw from Yasmani Grandal that time.
Boy, he is just outstanding. Dave spots something in the delivery and he figures out for sure if the pitcher is going to throw over or throw to the plate.
Because it's a little bit of a risky go against Maeda. He's relatively quick to the plate. I've had him at 118, 121, which is below what you would normally look for to try to steal a base.
Goes to the breaking pitch and gets the strikeout. That's his second.
Shortstop number 4, Ketel Marte.
Cement mixer slider up there above the belt. That one doesn't usually get swung at and missed very often.
Yeah, that's one that usually ends up in the seats. Ketel Marte. .267, 5 homers. He singled and walked last night. AJ at second, 1 out. Dodgers have the early lead.
Well, it's a very small sample size, but it still applies as ownership. Ketel Marte 4 for 4 lifetime against Kenta Maeda.
Can't do better than batting 1,000. Here we go again.
Another slider up there in the middle of the zone.
Those things have hit me signs on them.
The old hitting coach in the minor leagues, the late Hank Sauer, used to say that one had directions on it. Keep your shoulder in, don't overstride, don't overswing.
This is out to left field for Granderson. 2 outs. Got to feel good about their chances against Kenta Maeda. 0-2 versus the D-backs this year. He's been tagged for 8 home runs and only 17 innings against the Diamondbacks. So they have certainly done more than their share of damage against this guy. Taiwan trying to find a 2-out RBI knock right here. Shakes off, goes through a long, complicated set of signs, steps off, and we start again.
Well, Grandal has to go through a series of signs with a runner at second base. But when he shakes off, that's when it becomes interesting. Usually, the first sign is very complicated. Grandal will hang down a bunch of fingers. It might be the first sign after the number 2. You may have to add certain numbers together. But once you shake off with the runner at second base, usually it's first sign. Most teams go to first sign after a shake off with the runner at second base.
Now, does it become even more complicated because these two teams are seeing each other for the 19th time this year? It's their second series basically in a week. So there's a lot of familiarity.
Oh, yeah, a lot of background information that both teams have studied on videotape very closely. Sequences and patterns.
Grandal really making sure that Taiwan's not peeking up there. 1-2.
Some sets of signs use the number of outs in an inning. Nobody out, first sign, 1 out, second sign, 2 outs, third sign.
I don't know how you figure that out without getting a headache.
You use the count sometimes. Ahead, behind, even will determine which sign is the one you're using.
Taiwan knocks it into right center. AJ will take the turn, and that one rolls all the way to the wall. Taiwan Walker, an RBI double, and we're all tied up at 1. How about that for a big 2-out knock?
Number 6, David Peralta.
Nice going, Taiwan, taking care of business. That's that cement mixer slider. Another one, this time to the opposing pitcher, and Taiwan drives it in that gap in right center. Assuming that's his first extra base hit of the year.
Oh, he's got a home run.
Oh, he's got a home run. That's right. I forgot about the home run.
Boy, it should, the way he's throwing, it should be 6-1 Diamondbacks.
He's hanging that slider.
Goodness. Somebody's got to get a hold of one and hit it 450 feet at this rate. It is his first double this year. A 1-1 ball game. He's at second for David Peralta. David singled to lead off the ball game.
And once again, the Diamondbacks take advantage of an opposing error. Chris Taylor not able to handle that A.J. Pollock grounder to start the inning. He ends up scoring on the double by Taijuan Walker.
And it was just a little harmless dribbler to shortstop. Bobbled it and almost threw it away.
I think that's where A.J.'s speed comes into play. Chris Taylor knows that A.J. can get down that line. He knew he had to hurry and just didn't handle it cleanly.
The 1-1 is a fastball away. This is more velocity than we usually see from Kenta Maeda. He's been 94 several times tonight. Not usually quite that high. Well, I wouldn't think, and of course it all depends on health, but I wouldn't think that if and when they do get to the postseason that this guy has a rotation spot the way he's gone. They have usually a lot of options. They got some injured guys, McCarthy and Kazmir and whatnot, but not sure right now in a short series if Dave Roberts would feel real good about rolling Kenta Maeda out there. 3-1. On the other hand, Oldham with a breaking ball right there. Iannetta hoping for a chance. He singled his first time up. I think he borrowed those gloves from Ketel Marte. He got caught looking at that one. But the D-backs get the equalizer. Taijuan Walker. A 2-out RBI double ties it at 1.
The series against the Dodgers 10-8, looking for another sweep here tonight. Now we have a tweet for you here, possible billboard material, bulletin board from Bill Shaken of the LA Times asking Yasmani Grandal about the potential playoff matchup. We know we're the better team, said the catcher Grandal. Here is Archie Bradley's reaction to that comment.
You should say that. Look at the season series though. Who's won more games? This isn't a challenge. We're both playing baseball. Clearly, they are the better team. They have the best record in the big leagues. No one's denying that. But on field, head-to-head, we're the better team. We've won 10 out of 8 games. Does that mean anything? No, it doesn't mean one thing. We still have to win a wild card game. We still have to make the playoffs. They're sitting in the driver's seat, so he should say that. He should think they're the better team, and we should think we're the better team. That's the way this goes. But on paper, head-to-head, the Diamondbacks have more wins against the Dodgers than the Dodgers do against the Diamondbacks.
Well, that is a fact, of course. And yes, the Dodgers have 92 wins, so Archie expressing respect for that, of course. But like you said, 10-8 on the season series. It's been a while since the Diamondbacks have done that, and they're looking for their 4th straight sweep. Swept the Dodgers at Chase and have just been on this roll right now. And I love the confidence from Archie Bradley. He's just stating facts, and he's embracing the team's success.
And Jody, it doesn't matter how many wins you have when you get into a short series in the postseason, and the Dodgers in recent history have not come through in those types of series.
And that old saying, talk is cheap. You got to go out on the field and play the games. They may be the better team. They have been all season long. The numbers would say that. But in a short series, you've got to go out there and play and win. Yeah, that's funny. That back in the day, that would have been bulletin board material where you cut the article out of the newspaper and stick it up on the bulletin board. Nowadays, it's on Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff. So I don't know how you post that to fire up your team in the clubhouse.
You were here reading the newspaper today,
yeah,
which created some confusion in the booth.
Indeed.
Thankfully, JR was here to straighten that out. Nice going. Do they even have bulletin board? Well, they do because they post the lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's up there. Here's Puig leading off the bottom of the 2nd against Taijuan Walker. This is belted into left. A base hit for Puig starts out the LA 2nd. His 1st hit in the series. Chase Utley, the 2nd baseman tonight. Even Forsythe has been slumping, so Utley gets the call. 233, 7 homers. Struck out as a pinch hitter in the game last night. Archie Bradley got him to win the 8th. All that really matters, streaks and records and win totals. In watching postseason baseball in my lifetime, it seems all that ever matters is who's playing well at the end of September.
Absolutely. Just like in hockey, who's got the hot goalie
good
come
call.
Playoffs. I mean, you could cruise to your division title throughout the regular season without even breaking a sweat. But, man, once you get into that postseason, everything changes.
And the Dodgers, who still have not won a World Series since 1988. Kirk Gibson's home run. They have a recent history of failing in those postseason series. And they've had some excellent teams in recent years. That's what makes it so interesting.
Now, the best team doesn't always win. It's the team that's playing the best at that particular time.
And Clayton Kershaw has a hit-and-miss record in the postseason. He's had some starts, some big ones where he's not been quite as dominant as he's been in the regular season. Fastball away, missed. 2-1. Taijuan has been very good at spotting his fastball inside for strikes lately. He's been working away to a lot of the lefties so far with that fastball. Puig, 13 stolen bases this year. He's been caught 4 times. Iannetta sets up, down and away. Puig scampers back to the bag at first. That was kind of an extended stutter step back there for Puig.
Yeah, he got a late break back to the bag at first. Had to really reach out there with that left leg to get on the base ahead of the Daniel Descalso tag.
Taijuan's got it. Ketel Marte for 1, and they roll it. Taijuan Walker went up and got that rebound and started the 1-6-3.
Well, as an opposing hitter, you're better off trying to hit it under Taijuan Walker than over it.
Case in point. Well, here back from a minor league banishment is the struggling Jock Peterson in center field, batting 8th tonight. And it has been a miserable year. 215, 11 home runs. Just recalled yesterday from AAA Oklahoma City. This is Peterson's first game with the Dodgers since August 18th. D-backs put the shift on. He was optioned to AAA the day after they got Curtis Granderson from the Mets. And his swing has just deteriorated into, well, frankly, kind of a mess. Missed with a fastball, 2-0.
And we're told that at times this season Peterson has hit out of an exaggerated crouch. He's tried to hold his bat in different positions. He's really just trying to search for something that will give him a consistent swing on pitches in the strike zone.
Yeah, his spot on a postseason roster is very much in doubt right now. And he fights one off and dunks it into right center. LA will clear the pitcher's spot as Maeda comes up.
Ricky Maeda.
Maeda only 4 hits all year. He's got Peterson at first and 2 outs. Strike one, fastball. Taijuana has not been at all efficient so far. 37 pitches, and he's thrown more balls than strikes to this point. He's walked 1. He's given up 3 hits. He does not have a strikeout.
Looking at Jock Peterson down there at first base, it's kind of puzzling where his base stealing speed went. He had 2 30 stolen base seasons at the minor league level, 2 more seasons with 26 each year. He just rarely runs up here at the major league level. He had 10 stolen bases coming into this season in the major leagues.
Here's the strikeout as Taijuana strands the 2-out single. We're tied at 1 here in LA. NL wild card race. Colorado 6.5 games behind the Diamondbacks, and hosting the Giants are Cox high-speed highlights. Right now, San Francisco all over the Rockies. It's 7-1 Giants at Coors Field. Brewers lost today in Cincinnati 7-1. Luis Castillo struck out 10 for the Reds. Milwaukee and St. Louis both 3 games behind Colorado. The Cardinals are at San Diego tonight. And the Marlins, who are at home against Washington, 7 back. They've fallen off the chart. Here at Dodger Stadium, it's 1-1 D-backs and Dodgers as the Diamondbacks look to set a franchise record with their 13th straight win. Close out their 4th consecutive series sweep. Chris Iannetta leads it off against Kenta Maeda. Chris singled his first time up.
D-backs need to win to stay one behind the Cleveland Indians, who got their 14th straight win today.
How about that? They won again?
Yeah, they beat the White Sox today, 5-1.
Tribe cannot be stopped right now. Like we said, it all depends on who's hot at the end of the season. And Cleveland is rolling. At the corner of Carnegie and Ontario.
Ooh, very nice.
Stole that one from Hammy. The great Tom Hamilton. 0-2. Chris has hit safely in 9 of his last 11 games. And over that stretch, he's hitting better than .340. This is where we talked about this last night. He was down 0-2 and worked it full, and then drew a walk. The way that he's really a good fit for this 2-hole. Grinds out at bats. Kind of discipline that you like to see from a guy batting second in the order. And Chris rarely chases a pitch out of the zone, especially with 2 strikes. He's been getting on base a lot since the All-Star break. Gets a fastball up, he can usually drive it to right or right center. Rarely chases a bad breaking ball. But this is where you'd anticipate a Maeda slider right here, right? 1-2 right-hand batter.
Yeah, usually.
There it is.
Yeah, just off the outside corner, trying to lead Iannetta out of the strike zone that time.
Jake Lamb flying out deep to center. His first time up. He'll be next. J.D. Martinez after that. Called strike 3. Got the slow breaking ball that time. And Chad Fairchild rings him up. 4th strikeout for Maeda.
Chad Fairchild's strike call was as slow as that pitch from Kenta Maeda. Really took a while to wind up and eventually punch out Chris Iannetta.
On a pitch that was outside the strike zone. Dodgers will put the shift on for Lamb. Turner, the third baseman, moves into the second base spot, and Utley backs up at second. Jake came up 2 on, no outs in the first, and took Peterson all the way to the wall in dead center. Jake has hit 6 home runs against LA this year. He's got 14 RBIs in 16 games against the Dodgers. He's ahead 2-0. Martinez on deck.
A 2-0 curveball that time from Maeda. Just rolled it up there. Steals a strike to get back in the count against Jake Lamb. I think Maeda is a very definition of what you would call a finesse pitcher.
Seems like he never wants to throw that fastball.
Yeah, he'll throw all kinds of breaking pitches and fastball counts. That one lined right to Turner into the shift. Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations. Yeah, pitchers that will throw some of their secondary stuff when they're behind in the count. They're not willing to give in and throw a fastball in those 2-0, 3-1, 3-2 counts to opposing hitters, and Maeda fits that description to a T.
Dodgers, 3 infielders now on the left side against J.D. Martinez, who struck out his first time up. First pitch breaking ball there. Maeda did come at J.D. last time up with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. It was down and away, but he got him to chase and got the strikeout.
He just got away with another slider that hung up on the inside part of the plate, even though Grandal wanted it down low and away. Even though that's his bread and butter pitch, he doesn't seem to be commanding it extremely well tonight.
He's getting away with murder so far. There was the fastball, and it's 1-1. He's throwing a lot of hanging nothing balls here tonight. D-backs with 3 hits. Maeda's got 4 strikeouts. Well, I'll give him credit. He's come at JD with some fastballs. We don't usually see him do that. A little late that time, and it's 1-2. Back to the fastball. That was the pitch on which they struck him out his last time up.
And a little better swing that time from JD. Fouled that one straight back. See if that gets him off his fastball against JD Martinez. Go to one of those breaking pitches. Slow curve. He wasn't going to get beat with that pitch.
Tried the corner and missed.
Now those ones that bounce 5 feet out in front of home plate rarely get hit hard.
Dave Roberts couldn't bear to look. Things have not gone his way lately. His ball club has lost 5 in a row. 10 of its last 11. Descalso hoping to get a chance. 2-2 to J.D. Martinez. On another fastball. 9 strikeouts for Maeda. D-backs and Dodgers tied at 1.
As we start the home half of the third inning, fans, it's the fight for postseason, and we're coming back home. Cheer the D-backs on from Chase Field against the Padres starting on Friday, then a big 4-game set against the Colorado Rockies. These are all the games you don't want to miss. Get your tickets online, dbacks.com. Big homestand coming up. 4 critical games against Colorado starting on Monday. First, it's the Padres in this weekend. Chris Taylor, who hit a smash double to third his first time up, scored the only run so far for LA. Leads off the third against Taijuan Walker. By the way, while you're online getting tickets, don't forget Diamondbacks have launched dbacks.com/postseason. dbacks.com/postseason. That's where you can go and register for the opportunity to purchase tickets to any postseason games held at Chase Field this year. So you want to get on that. Postseason pricing, season ticket holder payment options, details on the opportunity there. It's all on the webpage, dbacks.com/postseason. Fans go there, you'll find a complete postseason schedule. And you can download some very cool looking printable Our Season posters. Hang them up in the window there. There's a lazy fly ball to right for J.D. Martinez. So check it out, dbacks.com/postseason, and that's where you go to sign up for the chance to buy your postseason tickets this fall.
Also, it's a great place to go check out the schedule because the times will be a lot different than you're used to during the regular season. And you want to see all the postseason, you want to make sure you're up to date with the schedule, and that's a good place to go and be informed.
And those posters are really cool. Yeah. I mean, they're a very unique thing that you can print out yourself at home, hang up. They look great. Curtis Granderson flying out his first time up.
So you can't hang a tweet in your window.
You're going to have to move on. The technology has just left it behind. But you raise a fair point.
Yeah.
But of course you can't download a poster from a newspaper. I guess you could cut it out. But.
Oh, you could just print it in the newspaper and you just put the paper in the window. Piece of cake. I guess you could stand in your window with your cell phone holding your tweet out there. Go D-backs. Not quite the same.
Second walk issued by Taijuan Walker. One out base runner for Justin Turner.
Number 10, Justin Turner.
Torrey was telling us again today, it's always important to Taijuan to have good fastball command. But he has not been terribly efficient so far in this one. He walked Turner his first time up.
I keep hearkening back to the beginning of the season, coming out of spring training with Taijuan Walker, and he was a guy that attacked the strike zone vertically. High fastballs, low fastballs, high fastballs, low fastballs, but all over the plate. When he tries to go in and out with the fastball, that's when he struggles with his command a little bit, trying to hit the corners with some consistency, and so far it just hasn't been there for him tonight.
He just bullied people in spring training. He was like a walking Charles Atlas ad, just kicking sand in guys' faces and stuff. But so far tonight, he has still thrown more balls than strikes. This is slicing the other way and foul. For a minute, it looked like that might be an Adam Rosales special. Rosales hit a home run like that the other night.
Sliced it right around that right field foul pole, just at the 330 mark.
Taijuan right at 50 pitches through 2 1/3. And as we mentioned, the efficiency is something you'd like to see improve a bit. 26 balls, 24 strikes. He has walked 2. He's got 1 strikeout. 0-2 on Turner. This is not the approach that Taiwan was so successful with in beating the Rockies last week. In that game, he was going out there being aggressive with the fastball. He was getting strike one, getting strike two. And he's really had to work tonight. 2-2. This is out to JD in right field. 2 outs. And now here's Bellinger.
Yeah, that Walker start against the Rockies, it seemed like they were on the defensive all night long.
First 8 outs were strikeouts.
Yeah, because he was ahead in the count. Strike one, sometimes strike one, strike two. Those Rockies hitters couldn't really pick a pitch and tee it up. They had to just battle with 2 strikes, try to put the ball in play against Walker, and he had their number.
Dan Herron was the only other pitcher in Diamondback history who had ever recorded the first 8 outs in a game with strikeouts. Shift is on for Bellinger, who had an RBI fielder's choice his first time up. Beat out the back end of a double play ball. Taylor scored from third. Dodgers had a 1-0 lead after 1. D-backs tied it in the second on Taiwan Walker's 2-out RBI double. Swing and a miss. Fired fastball and it's 0-1. Bellinger, who was in center field last night, back at first base tonight. And Dave Roberts was saying before the game tonight that Adrian Gonzalez's back is still bothering him. In fact, it seems to be getting a little bit worse. Off the mound, Ketel Marte slips, throws, and Bellinger beats it out again. It was a nice play by Ketel to get to that one behind the bag, but he lost his footing and the throw was a little bit late.
I think he lost his footing because he was going to scramble to the bag at second. Right there he tries to plant. Looked like he was just going to try to win that race with Granderson to the bag at second, but once he slipped, the only option he had was to try to get Bellinger at first, and once again Bellinger shows great speed down that first baseline.
They were saying with Gonzalez's bad back and Bellinger's ability to play first, there's a chance that Adrian Gonzalez will not be on their postseason roster, and that's really the first time that's come up around here. Troublesome Yasmani Grandal. 2-1 and 2 out, 1-1 in the third. Opponents with runners in scoring position against the Diamondbacks in these road games since this hot streak started, 2 for 50, including 0 for 2 tonight. Gets ahead with strike one. Good fastball there. Missed away. 2 balls and 1 strike. Got strike one, now behind in the count with Granderson at second and Bellinger at first. Brandon Drury back deep in the outfield grass. And it bounces to Drury. Taiwan strands 2. He keeps it a 1-1 ball game here in LA. Diamondbacks and Dodgers tied at 1. Fans, it's the fight for postseason, the drive to the pennant. You can check it all out, MLB.tv. Every night, every device, the whole thing. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live and get a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Taijuan Walker got a big 2-out ground ball there against Yasmani Grandal to keep this thing tied at 1. And now Daniel Descalso leads off the Arizona 4th against Kenta Maeda. D-backs looking to set a new franchise record with their 13th straight win. Descalso flied out his first time up. Diamondbacks have not swept a 3-game series at Dodger Stadium in just over 4 years. D-backs 10-8 against LA. They've already clinched a victory in a season series. A win tonight, they would finish an even 5-5 here at Dodger Stadium this year.
And that's always your goal against the good teams going into their house, is to try to split on the road. Try to take 2 out of 3 at home if at all possible.
Descalso ahead, 2 balls and 1 strike. Ever since that fight with Miguel Montero, Zach Greinke, the Dodger, 2013 in June, that's when the tide turned very much in the Dodgers' favor in this rivalry. But now, Bob, I think in the last 2 series here, it's turned back the other way. Or at worst, it's 50-50.
Right.
Leadoff walk.
Fortunately, no bean balls or head hunting involved. Just go out and play good baseball and beat them.
That was a heck of a brawl, though. Boy. Alan Trammell was getting thrown over the dugout railing into the camera well, and benches were empty. That was a real fight. And Diamondbacks at that time were in first place in the NL West when that brawl broke out. Beanballs back and forth, and ever since then the Dodgers have dominated this series, but not anymore. Diamondbacks have changed the narrative. AJ has scored their only run. He reached on an error by the shortstop Chris Taylor. Stole second, then scored on Taijuan Walker's 2-out RBI double. AJ 10 RBIs in his last 10 games. He's homered 3 times over that stretch. The bat has really come around. He's hit safely in 7 straight. That's a strike, says Chad Fairchild.
AJ's probably asking Chad Fairchild, don't they usually catch the strikes?
Supposed to anyway.
Big hole in that right side of the infield with Bellinger holding on to Descalso over there at first. AJ doesn't go that way a lot. If he had his druthers, he'd like to pull the ball hard to left field, but if he happens to get a pitch middle of the plate away, working away, take a shot to right field right here.
He's off, and it's 1-2. D-backs have seen a lot of Kenta Maeda in less than 2 full seasons in the U.S. Major Leagues. He's already made 10 starts against the Diamondbacks. Every time we play the Dodgers, it seems like we get Maeda in at least one of those games. He's 3-3 in those 10 starts. Everybody yelling at Maeda. He's going.
Yeah, Daniel tried to get one of those A.J. Pollock / Dave McKay jumps over there at first base, but everybody saw it. Maeda was able to step off, but Descalso quickly hits the brakes and gets back to the bag at first.
I think he literally heard all the fans yelling. Try it again on 1 and 2. Strikes out Pollock. 6 strikeouts for Maeda. 1 down in the 4th.
One of those sliders away, started on the outer third of the plate and dips off the plate low and away. That's a pitch. The only place you can hit that pitch is to the right side of the field.
Brandon Drury struck out in his first at bat tonight. Came inside that time with a fastball. 1-0. Brandon Drury, more than half his hits since the All-Star break have been for extra bases. That's close to double league average. He has really barreled up the baseball lately. But Maeda vastly improved from when we just saw him last week at Chase Field. He got knocked around hard. 7 runs, 8 hits. He lasted only 3 innings. Much better tonight. Looking at a fastball, taking all the way. 2-1. Long look down to Tony Perez Chica coaching at third. Two and two. Division lead right now for LA sits at 11.5 games. Diamondbacks have been chipping away. In just the last 11 days, they have trimmed 9.5 games off the Dodgers NL West lead. Now this is game 140, so they're up against the clock here, but that's still a pretty impressive chunk.
Oh yeah, you always have to have something to play for during the season, whether you're in first place or last place. And I think if the Diamondbacks could get that division lead down to single digits, that would be quite the accomplishment considering where they came from.
Big slow breaking ball, a wild swing by Drury, and Maeda gets his 7th strikeout.
Drury got some good fastballs to hit earlier in the sequence, but once it gets to 2 strikes, there's no guarantee you're going to get another fastball. And that time the slow breaker stayed up in the zone, and Brandon swings right through it.
He has struck out Maeda 5 of the last 7 he's faced. And the batter is Ketel Marte. Boy, Ketel Marte, when we were here earlier this summer, hit one of the longest home runs I think we've ever seen hit in this ballpark by anyone. He yanked one to deep left field that landed in the 4th row back there and almost went out at the stadium.
Yeah, it narrowly missed the roof out there on the pavilions above the bleachers in left field. I mean, in order for it to land 4 rows from the back of the bleachers, it had to narrowly miss that roof that hangs over.
Yeah, it just snuck under there and hit 4 rows back. It was something else. You never see a ball hit up there. He's got real power from both sides of the plate. We saw him almost hit one as a left-hand batter out of Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati.
Cleared the bullpen and everything out there in right field.
When he gets a hold of it, it'll go with the best of them. And Ketel, a switch hitter. More he bats, the more the numbers improve left side than right. He's 278 lefty, 238 righty. But he will definitely hit long home runs from either side of the plate. That's going to get in the seats and out of play. Kenta Maeda in his last 8 starts here at Dodger Stadium is 8-0. Last Dodger to win 9 straight starts at home in a single season, Sandy Koufax in 1964. He won 10 straight.
He was pretty good.
Not bad. Get down, ball. It drops in there. Peterson over to collect that. Descalso stops at second. And we'll see if Taijuan Walker can come up with another RBI hit. He had a 2-out double to score a run his last time up.
Stay hot, walk. This was back in the 2nd inning. A pitch out over the plate, drove it into that gap in right center field to drive home A.J. Pollock, who had reached on a Chris Taylor error to start the inning.
Taijuan now with 5 RBIs on the year. He does have a home run earlier this season at Chase Field. Descalso at second, Marte at first, 2 outs.
I like that. Come out of that on deck circle hacking. That first pitch might be the best one you get the entire at bat, and with a runner in scoring position, Taijuan Walker making like a hitter there, jumping on that first pitch.
Foul back, and it's 1-2.
Well, Grandal was coming out of his crouch back there behind the plate as Walker fouled that ball out of play. There was nobody breaking to any of the bases, so I don't think there was a pickoff attempt on, but Grandal was coming out of the chute like he was preparing to throw.
Well, last time he had a 2-out 2-strike RBI knock. Fingers crossed on 1-2. He's off the breaking ball. David Peralta singled to lead off the ball game. He's on deck.
strikeouts for Kenta Maeda. He strands 2 and keeps it a 1-1 ball game. Card races. The Brewers lost today at Cincinnati. The Rockies are getting pounded by the Giants in Denver. Mac Williamson into the bullpen. 8-2 San Francisco. They're in the 8th at Coors Field. So Milwaukee and St. Louis both 3 games behind Colorado. The Cardinals in San Diego. On Hervey Solarte goes yard, and the Padres lead the Cardinals 1-0. They're in the 5th. D-backs 6.5 up on the Rockies for the moment, and both St. Louis and Milwaukee 3 back. Here it's 1-1 D-backs and Dodgers. Diamondbacks trying to set a new franchise record by getting their 13th consecutive win and close out their 4th consecutive series sweep, all against NL West opposition. They trail this one 1-0 after 1. Cody Bellinger, an RBI fielder's choice following a Taylor leadoff double. D-backs got the run back at the top of the 2nd on Taijuan Walker's 2-out RBI double, and that's where we stand right now. Taijuan has struggled with his fastball command tonight, which is always key for him. He's walked 2. He's got only 1 strikeout. Maeda has been very good. He's punched out 8 and walked only 1. Puig, who singled his first time up, leads off the LA 4th. Taijuan, even now at 60 pitches, has still thrown more balls than strikes.
And this changes the night down in the Diamondbacks bullpen as well. When you see that pitch count get up there as quickly as it has for Taijuan, the middle relievers, the guys that normally just kind of sit back and watch a ball game and hope for good things, they know this might be a night they'll get in there because of the pitch count.
Yeah, those guys have been asleep the first 2 games with what we saw from Robbie Ray and Zach Greinke. 3-0 strike call right there. Lost in all the excitement about the win last night was the job Zach Greinke did. Got the no decision, but 1 run, 4 hits in 7 innings. Taijuan really continues to struggle throwing strikes. A leadoff walk to Puig.
Number 26, Chase Utley.
Chase Utley. Utley, his first time up tonight, tapped back to the mound. Taijuan reached up, snagged and started a 1-6-3 double play. That was following a Puig single to lead off the 2nd.
Ball's not there, and it's 1-0. Puig takes off. Here's the throw from Iannetta. Got him! What a throw from Chris Iannetta. Only the 5th time all year Puig has been thrown out attempting to steal. Boy, he put that right on the money.
It looked like he had a good jump over there at first base. A quick peek back to home plate before going into that head first slide, and Iannetta put it right on the money. Wow, man, just catch the ball and he's out.
You cannot do it better than that.
That helps.
Sure does. 2-0 on Utley. Bases empty, 1 out. He's a mess.
Strawberries. That's what players call those little burns you get on your forearms or your knees or occasionally on your hip when you slide into a base. They call them strawberries. And usually you get them in spring training and you get rid of them in November.
They hang around.
Oh, yeah. Just about the time you think it's all healed up, you've got to throw a trick slide into third base and rip it wide open again.
Stays fair for Descalso. 2 down.
John
Peterson.
John Peterson.
We're wondering when he's going to get it together again, Jock Peterson. He had a 2-out single against Taiwan back in the 2nd. And some folks have chimed in saying that in that first at bat he looked a little square, a little more comfortable, on time, under control. It's constantly evolving with Jock Peterson, whose swing has been tied up in knots all year long. Bases empty, 2 outs. Peterson was sent down to the minors in the middle of last month to try and figure it out, but he went down to AAA Oklahoma City, just 8 for 56 down there. Worked with Sean Wooten, one of their hitting instructors. An all-star just 2 years ago, a guy coming off back-to-back seasons with at least 25 home runs, but this year has been a washout. Once again, Taiwan falls behind in the count, but there's strike 1. Eye to the pitcher on deck. Popped it up near the LA dugout and out of play. If you were in charge of fixing Jock Peterson, you come up with anything here?
I don't know him well enough to even approach that question. I mean, it's been very apparent since he got to the major leagues. He's got one thing on his mind, and that's hit the ball up in the bleachers in right field. Lift, swing, swings hard. I'd see a little more contact, a little more consistent contact. But, you know, you look at the wave of the future and all these young hitters that are coming up to the major leagues now with the uppercut swing, hit the ball in the air, get it in the air. Jock Peterson was ahead of the curve with that. He's been doing that ever since he got to the major leagues.
Bellinger swings like that for sure. Full count, 3-2. Right into the shift. Curry is in a perfect spot. And Taiwan Walker is through 4. We are still tied in LA. D-backs and Dodgers 1-1.
1-1 as we start the 5th inning. D-backs fans, don't forget it's the fight for postseason. And if you can't watch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. It's presented by your Valley Honda dealers. Download the free app and take Fox Sports Arizona, the freight train, and the D-backs with you wherever you go. And David Peralta will lead off the 5th against Kenta Maeda. What has Maeda been doing that's working so well for him? He's got 8 strikeouts.
Yeah, just kind of pitching backwards and throwing more fastballs than I think the Diamondbacks are expecting from him. We've seen a lot of Maeda, as you mentioned, over the last couple of years, and generally as the game progresses, he almost stops throwing his fastball, but he's been using it very effectively here tonight.
Yeah, we've seen him consistently throw that fastball at 94. He's got J.D. Martinez twice with pretty good fastballs. And the Dodgers will slide over and put the shift on for Peralta, leaving Turner near the bag at 3rd, the only infielder on the left-hand side. David has singled and struck out 1 for 2. You said pitching backwards. That's a term we hear a lot.
Yeah, basically it just means you throw your secondary pitches in fastball counts, and you throw fastballs in counts where most pitchers would normally throw their breaking stuff. That's why they call it pitching backward. 2-0. We saw him roll a curveball up there to J.D. Martinez and steal a strike. We've seen a lot of first pitch sliders. We've seen a lot of sliders when he's been behind in the count, and we've seen some fastballs when he's been ahead in the count.
He's behind here. 2-0 on David. Sends one out to left field for Granderson.
Hey fans, a D-backs home run tonight means a free Jumbo Jack tomorrow at participating Jack in the Box locations with a purchase of a large drink. You know, partner, we are rolling back to the Valley tonight after the ball game.
Thank goodness.
The fast food trifecta would come in real handy when we get back home for the off day tomorrow.
Oh, you'll be eating just well the way you usually do, frankly, because we've won a lot of games lately.
But I don't have to pay as much for it.
Paredes, the left-hander, starts to get loose for the Dodgers. They got a million guys back there. We've seen a lot of him lately. Iannetta has singled, struck out 1 for 2. It's fouled away. We thought the way Maeda was hanging sliders in the 1st and 2nd inning, he'd be gone by the 3rd, but he's really turned it around. Diamondbacks have only 4 hits tonight. And 2 of those came in the first 2 batters of the game. Peralta and Iannetta single to lead things off. Eighty pitches, 50 strikes for Kenta Maeda. Hard to shortstop. Nice out for Taylor. 2 down.
I know you know this, partner, but the Dodgers did not take batting practice today, but they had a big crowd of eyes out here to watch as Corey Seager took ground balls and made throws from the shortstop position. And down in the bullpen before the game, their prize prospect, their minor league pitcher of the year, Walker Buehler, threw a side session, and there must have been about 25 people down there to watch that.
Just called up from AAA today. He's a Vanderbilt star, their top pitching prospect.
#1 pick back in 2015, just breezed through the system this year. I think he struck out 125 in 88 innings of work.
He was blowing away guys in the Cal League, moved up to AA, was dominating in the Texas League. So look out for Walker Buehler.
Yes.
Buehler, anyone?
So even though the team wasn't out there on the field during their normal batting practice time, there were a lot of coaches, a lot of evaluators, a lot of scouts with eyes on Corey Seager and Walker Buehler before the ball game tonight. And by the way, Seager looked fairly normal. You know, he's kind of a one-speed guy anyway. He never really looks like he's hurrying anything, but his throws look strong and accurate. They had him go in the hole. They had him go up the middle. They hit him some short choppers that he had to come in on, and he made all the plays, made all the throws.
Well, they're hoping he'll be able to play defense by this weekend. He's been out now a couple of weeks defensively. Corey Seager with that troublesome right elbow. He can hit with it. He just has not been able to throw, but they're getting closer there. 2-1 on Jake Lamb. Bases empty, 2 down. Way up in the air, shallow right center. Peterson calling off Puig. 1-2-3 inning for Kenta Maeda. D-backs and Dodgers still tied at 1.
Bottom half of the 5th inning here at Dodger Stadium. Time to take a look at this day in baseball history, brought to you by Geico. That's Fernando Valenzuela. On this day back in 1981, Freddie tied the National League rookie record for shutouts. Blanked the Cardinals 5-0 on this evening back in 1981 for his 7th shutout of the season.
Legend Fernando Mania back in 1981.
He had 8 shutouts on the season that year in 1981. That was kind of his thing. If he started it, he expected to finish it. Had a high of 20 complete games back in 1986.
Yeah, Tommy Lasorda would leave him out there all night long. Andre Ethier will pinch hit for Kenta Maeda. As we start the home half of the 5th inning, Maeda's night is over. Ethier 1 for 9. He's played in only 5 games all year. Just came off the DL prior to last weekend. He missed most of the season with a herniated disc in his back. So Maeda tonight goes 5. Gives up just 1 run on 4 hits. He walked 1 and had 8 strikeouts.
You know, part of the reason Tommy Lasorda left Valenzuela in the game so long is because he was one of his best hitters. He was a lifetime 200 hitter. He could rake.
He is royalty around here.
Oh, yeah.
Justifiably so. Only 2 pitchers in my lifetime that have created that kind of mania, to borrow a term from Fernando, were Fernando and Mark Fidrich, the Bird.
The Bird, yeah.
Where every start became a national news story. I should add Doc Gooden to that list.
I was going to say Doc Gooden a little bit to a lesser extent, but absolutely.
Ethier strikes out, just the second strikeout for Taiwan tonight.
Shortstop, Chris Taylor.
Kind of year with a starting pitcher, especially a rookie, that makes it even more interesting and exciting for fans, where the story becomes not just a local story but a national story. Everybody is watching. Popped it up first base side to Scalzo's under it. Quickly 2 outs here in the 5th.
Well, this is just what the doctor ordered for Taijuan Walker. Has been throwing a boatload of pitches every inning in this game. Has a chance to get back in that dugout quickly here in the 5th.
You know, he hasn't had good fastball command tonight. He's been behind in counts all night, and he's pretty much thrown more balls than strikes. But here we are, bottom 5, 2 outs, and it's still a 1-1 ball game. I think Taijuan deserves a lot of credit for that. Clearly not with his A stuff. He's got now slightly more strikes than balls to this point, but for the most part it's been the other way around. Josh Fields, the right-hander. Taijuan starting to gather a little momentum now and is working more quickly than he has been at this point really all night long. Get it, throw it. Just missed with that fastball, and it's a full count, 3-2. Anderson has flied out walk tonight. Justin Turner on deck. Scalzo is there. He calls off Walker. Taijuan a 1-2-3 5th. Still a 1-1 ball game. Steve Berthew, Bob Brenly, and Jody Jackson with you. D-backs and Dodgers tied at 1 as the Diamondbacks go for the sweep. We'll remind you, Coyotes night is coming up Friday, September 8th at Chase Field. You can get the special event ticket package that includes a lower level baseline reserve ticket and a D-backs Coyotes baseball, all for only $25. Special event ticket pack available online right now, dbacks.com/coyotes. New pitcher for the Dodgers, the right-hander Josh Fields, who pitched in the opener here Monday night, came on to start the 8th inning, and he got knocked around. Gave up the 3rd of J.D. Martinez's 4 homers. And later in that same inning, gave up a 2-run home run to Adam Rosales.
Yeah, basically a fastball curveball combination from the right-hander Fields. He has a pretty good yacker when he's commanding it.
And he'll face J.D. lead off the Diamondbacks 6th inning. 1-1 ball game here. D-backs looking for what would be a new franchise record 13th consecutive win. Each team with 1 run on 4 hits. Martinez first pitch swinging. Peterson didn't move. It's pulled it up there for him. 1 pitch, 1 out for Field.
Just missed that one. Got it on the barrel, but got underneath it just a little bit. Skied it high in the air, just in front of the warning track in center.
Descalso has flied out and walked 0 for 1. This is a lot like the way the game went last night. 1 run on 4 hits for each team for the longest time. That's how we ended up in extra innings. D-backs scored 2 in the 10th. Have you had any more time to ponder or to ruminate, to reflect on what it was like to be the skipper of the previous 12-game winning streak? I know people have been asking you about that from time to time lately.
Not really. I mean, it was a fun exercise for me just to look back at the roster we had at that particular time as Descalso grounds one to Bellinger at first. 2 down. Brandon Webb was pitching well during the winning streak back in 03.
Center fielder A.J. Pollock.
Some of the guys out of the bullpen were just dealing. Eddie Oropesa, he was one of my favorites. Eddie, a little left-hander, got his citizenship while he was a member of the Diamondbacks, wore his American flag underwear to the ballpark that day.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, well, it's a long story. But Eddie was one of those pitchers, and he didn't really even try to hide it very much. He had very strong thumbnails. So when he would get a new ball from the umpire, like every pitcher does, he'd step off the back of the mound and rub up the baseball. And when he was done, he would take one of those razor sharp thumbnails and just scratch the living daylights out of the baseball.
Scuffing it up?
Yeah, I didn't get up on the mound and throw the nastiest sinker you ever saw.
Is that in the scouting report? Strong thumbnails?
I don't think it is, but we knew it. Yeah, I loved Eddie. He was great. Oscar Villarreal was dealing back then. Of course, Gonzo was Gonzo. He was the constant in the middle of that lineup. A lot of moving parts around him. Carlos Baerga was on those teams. Boy, what fun he was, man.
I worked with Carlos.
Oh,
he is fun.
He is a piece of work.
Really good dude. That was back in June of 03, the last time the Diamondbacks, and the only other time the Diamondbacks have won 12 games in a row. Tonight going for lucky 13.
And one of my favorite all-time Diamondback starting pitchers, even though the numbers would not indicate he gets this kind of love from his former manager, but Andrew Good. Little right-hander. He didn't really have a whole lot. He pitched more on guts than anything else, but Andrew Good was the only pitcher in my tenure as a manager that I ever suggested that maybe he knocked somebody down. No. And he didn't hesitate.
So he won a place in the Brenly Hall of Fame.
He sure did.
Now, how did you go about suggesting, using little finger quotes, that he do that?
We brought him in from the bullpen against the Dodgers, and that was back in the time when Paul LaDuca was just wreaking havoc on the National League. He was getting 3 hits every night and had beaten us up pretty bad all season long. He was the next scheduled hitter. I went out to make the pitching change, and when Andrew came in from the bullpen, I said, listen, it wouldn't hurt my feelings at all to see his feet straight up in the air at some point during this at bat. Sure enough, Andrew got him on the ground with his feet in the air.
It's good pep talk.
Yeah. But I was pretty sure Andrew was the kind of guy that could handle that the right way, then get back up on the mound and start pitching again. You know, you just wanted to send a message. You wanted to try to cool off one of their hotter hitters and try to take the bat out of his hands at least for one at bat. And boy, Andrew did not hesitate.
3-2 on A.J. Pollock. Now, what do you mean the right way, or be able to handle that?
Some guys will yell from the dugout, I'm going to drill you, I'm going to hit you in the ribs, I'm going to hit you in the head, and then they'll go out there to the mound and try to hit a guy and throw 4 pitches wide of the plate away. They just don't have it in them. I mean, you know, the spirit may be there, but the heart just won't let them throw inside hard or even hit somebody. And it usually takes a little while to determine which guy is in which group, and I was pretty sure Andrew could handle it, and he did.
I would imagine it's hard as a big league skipper not to develop sort of sentimental favorites when it comes to bullpen guys like that.
Yeah, the guys that do good become your sentimental favorites.
It's funny how that works out.
It is. It really is.
Fouled straight back, a fastball. Brandon Drury.
I took a lot of criticism back in the day for the way I used Oscar Villarreal. I think he threw 86 games his rookie season. But Oscar was so good. He was that 6th, 7th inning guy that could get you those big outs with runners on base and then turn the ball over to BK and Matt Manti late in the ball game. But Oscar would stick his head in my office every single day on his way down to the bullpen. Hey, Skipper, I'm okay. If you need me, I'm okay. Every day. 162 times he said he was ready to pitch.
High bouncer to shortstop, close at second, but they just do get the force on Pollock. We'll head to the home half of the 6th inning. It's still 1-1. There for the bottom of the 6th inning, D-backs and Dodgers even at 1. What's next? Brought to you by CenturyLink. We get to go back home after this one, off day on Thursday. And the San Diego Padres come in for a weekend series starting on Friday night. Former Rockies great Jordan Lyles gets the baseball against Patrick Corbin, who has been rolling lately. 5 wins in 5 starts. Ulysses Chacin, Zach Godley Saturday, and then Luis Perdomo and Robbie Ray on Sunday. And the Rockies come in for 4 starting on Monday. Here's Justin Turner. He's walked and flied out. He leads off the LA 6th. Taiwan, notice this last inning starting to pick up the pace a little bit. He's finally settling into a rhythm. He's retired the last 5 batters he's faced. Really sketchy start for him this year. The fastball command just hasn't quite been there, but now he looks like a slightly different guy than earlier in the ballgame.
Working a little bit more quickly between pitches. I think the less a pitcher thinks out there on the mound, the better your chances of having success. Just rely on muscle memory and your catcher calling a good game for you. If you stand out there too long between pitches and try to think, is this the right pitch? Is this where I want to throw it? You're probably not going to put it there anyway.
Don't think you'll only hurt the ball club. Boom. Called strike 3. A fastball away. Gets his 3rd strikeout. 6 in a row. Sent down by Taiwan Walker. Chad Fairchild back there. Taiwan, his spot in the order is due up 2nd in the top of the 7th. Bullpen is quiet right now, so you figure he's going to empty the tank right here. Coming up on 100 pitches. He's just a little bit over 90 right now, 94.
Bellinger has singled and reached on a fielder's choice. High in the air, center field. AJ's got it. Drifting over toward left center, 2 outs.
Boy, Cody Bellinger has spoiled these fans here at Dodger Stadium. Every time he hits a pop-up, they go crazy. Everything hit in the air gets a reaction from the Dodger fans when Bellinger's at the plate.
Jorge De La Rosa will start to unwind in the D-back bullpen as Yasmani Grandal comes up. 2 outs, bases empty. He's 0 for 2. .95 pitches for Taijuan Walker. 50 strikes tonight. He has walked 3, struck out 3. There's strike 1. Fastball away, doesn't get the call. 1-1. Gets a call that time with a fastball. A ball and 2 strikes. Taijuan in get it and throw it mode. Taijuan Walker, there's the hard fastball. He gets his 4th strikeout. He has set down 8 straight. It's still tied. Was ejected from the Dodger dugout by the plate umpire Chad Fairchild after Turner had struck out in his at bat to lead off the last half inning.
Yeah, there was some confusion. Justin Turner and Turner Ward standing over there together. They weren't sure who had actually been ejected. They were pointing at each other, and eventually they figured out it was Turner who has been ejected. Logan Forsythe will take over at third base.
Well, Turner certainly had a beef. He was rung up on a terrible strike 3 call, at least according to the K-zone there. So Logan Forsythe comes in and takes over at third base. The Red Menace, Justin Turner, has been vanquished here by the plate umpire Chad Fairchild.
It's amazing how many times a bad call by the umpire results in an ejection of a player.
Well, he was barking pretty good there from the dugout, and I guess Fairchild finally heard enough. New pitcher is the left-hander Luis Avilan on to work the top of the 7th inning. Ketel Marte will lead it off. Then it's the pitcher spot, Taijuan Walker. Adam Rosales is in the on-deck circle, and now Fairchild is going over the lineup card with Torey Lovullo.
I think this is a technicality. When was the ejection? If it was early enough, Dave Roberts could double switch here. Put Forsythe in the 9 hole and the pitcher in the 3 hole, so you don't have to worry about the pitcher spot for a couple of innings. But I'm not quite sure about the timing of the ejection and the entrance of the new pitcher into the ball game.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. Ketel Marte will lead it off. Now he'll flip around a bat right-handed against the lefty Avila. So Marte, Rosales, and Peralta, 8-9-1 here. The D-backs 7th.
There's Dave Roberts going over things with his bench coach, Bob Guerin.
Yeah, if the ejection happened before Dave Roberts inserted Avalon into the ball game, you could go to the umpire and say, okay, I have a new pitcher coming in. He's going to hit third where you just ejected my third baseman, and the new third baseman's going to hit ninth. But if the pitcher had already been entered into the ball game before the ejection, then both these guys have to hit in their normal spots in the lineup.
Right now, the scoreboard has Avalon, the pitcher, batting third where Turner was, and Forsythe batting ninth. Well, there's a lot of clerical work when you're a manager in the big leagues. You got to do a lot of ciphering and figure out who goes where.
And that's where a bench coach can really help you out with some of the little technicalities and the protocol of the game, the things that have to be done in a certain order in order to be effective.
Now you just have your staff to sort all that out for you. But before it was just you and Mel, right?
Yep. Of course, that's all I needed was Mel.
Dave Roberts has Bob Guerin with him. 2-1 on Ketel Marte, who was flying out and single. These two have met before. Ketel Marte. This is the home run we were referencing earlier. Look where this lands. Oh, 4 rows from getting out of here, just under that overhang roof in left center field.
I'll tell you, I've been coming to this ballpark since 1981, and that's one of the longest home runs I've ever seen hit in this park.
I'm with you. Marte shoots it the other way. It rolls into right, a leadoff single. That's the 5th hit for the Diamondbacks. And now Rosales will hit for Taijuan Walker. It's a bullpen game from this point on. Well, that's 2 hits for Ketel. He's hit safely now in 6 of his last 7. Rosales, the pinch hitter, 238, 7 homers. And a couple of hits in the win here Monday night, including a home run. Adam has 10 hits in his last 14 games. Boy, if he wants to pesky pull one right now like he did the other night, that would be really, really good timing.
That would be a thing of beauty right now.
Got up here Monday. That was in the 8th inning against Josh Fields and sliced one right around the right field foul pole for a home run. Well, Avalon gave up the leadoff single to Ketel Marte, now behind on Rosales 2-0 with Peralta the on deck hitter. One 5-0 for the Diamondbacks, 1-4-1 for the Dodgers. D-backs looking for their 4th consecutive series sweep and their 13th win in a row. That's foul behind Tony Perez Chica at third. Swing and a miss. Took something off on the 2-1, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Quick read that time by Marte. Not fooled a little bit by Avalon's move to first base. Might be able to get an extra step on his lead over there.
Well, D-backs and Dave McKay have seen plenty of Luis Avalon over the last year or so. 2-2. Fly ball, left center field, and that ball is off the wall. Marte is flying around third. Here's the relay from Taylor, and it's not in time. Adam Rosales, an RBI double, and it's 2-1 D-backs. Boy, didn't miss a home run by very much that time.
Boy, a very aggressive send to third base by Tony Perez-Chica. Unfortunately, the Dodgers kind of botched that relay. Hey, you see the pitch up and out over the plate. Adam barrels it up to that gap in left center. Tel Marte showing that speed coming around from first base and scoring easily at home plate. Chris Taylor had to jump up and to his right to catch that throw from Jock Peterson. He kind of stumbled when he landed on the ground. His throw to home plate was late.
All right, 2 base hits get it started in the 7th, and here's the leadoff man, Peralta. Dodgers will put 3 infielders on the right side. Taijuan Walker in line for the win.
Well, it's been pointed out by the guys in the truck that the 9 spot in the lineup today, 2 doubles, 2 runs driven in.
Yeah, you're right. Taijuan an RBI double in the 2nd. Now Rosales here in the 7th. Guys in the truck, they're on top of that kind of stuff. You and I are up here eating Twinkies, whatever we're doing.
You have Twinkies?
I knew I shouldn't have said anything. Dodger bullpen gets going again. Josh Raven, the right-hander, is going to start to loosen up down there. Jorge De La Rosa ready in the Diamondback bullpen. Looks like he'll get the 7th. Peralta yanks that one foul. This is a ballpark in which David has never really hit much. 27 games here. And he's just under 190 career at Dodger Stadium. He's never homered in this ballpark.
Don't feel bad, David. Neither did I.
No wonder you hated coming here. Here's Raven, the righties.
Well, you know, you talk about the ballparks, but actually it has a lot more to do with the pitching staffs.
Peralta sends one out to Puig, and that one gets down. Rosales had to hold up just to be sure. And the D-backs open up the 7th with 3 consecutive hits. And they're booing again in LA.
A soft liner into right field that time by David. Came on a fastball up and in. Maybe didn't get all of it, but got enough of it to muscle it out there into shallow right field. Rosales had to hold up briefly to make sure that ball got down in front of Puig.
Base hit for David off the lefty. Dodgers bring the infield in. Iannetta 1 for 3, a single in the 1st.
Now the guys in the middle are backing up to double play depth.
Going to concede that run at 3rd.
Yeah, I think Dave Roberts is more concerned that the Diamondbacks might bat around in this inning and put a big crooked number on that board. He'll trade a run for 2 outs right now just to clear the bases.
Well, the way his bullpen's been performing lately, it's hard to blame him. Diamondbacks got a good hitter up there right now. Chris has hit safely in 9 of his last 11 games. He's got Rosales at 3rd. Peralta at 1st. No outs and a run is in. One and 2. ARI AT LAN.
too far away. Chris looking to shoot that hole on the right side of the infield on that pitch, fading away from him and up, but his tail too far off the corner for him to get to it.
Well, Avalon couldn't get the lefty in Peralta. David had a base hit. Now it's another lefty, Jake Lamb. Jake 0 for 3 tonight. Lamb this year 148 against left-hand pitchers. Does have 5 homers against lefties, including a couple in this ballpark. 2 on and 1 out. Strike 1. This is the spot in which during the first half of the year Jake Lamb would launch one, bang a ball off the wall for an RBI double. Second half of the year it's been a slightly different story. Jake 52 games since July the 1st. He's hitting .208. One is fouled back. Dodgers have the right-hander Raven ready. J.D. Martinez on deck. Hoover, the righty, will join De La Rosa, the lefty, in the D-back bullpen. No wind at all right now. The flags are absolutely dead still in center field. Nice cool night here in LA. One and 2 on Jake Lamb. Little squib shot back to the mound. Rosales was flirting with coming home. Avalon kind of stared him down, got the out at first. Peralta moves up, 2 outs.
Number 28, J.D. Martinez.
Well, they could walk Martinez and get the lefty-lefty matchup with Daniel Descalso, or go to the right-hander in the bullpen. Looks like they're going to walk J.D. right here.
Yep. Based on what they saw here Monday, probably the right move. So the D-backs have a run in, but a golden opportunity right here. Bases full, 2 down. Daniel Descalso 0 for 2 with a walk. Daniel against lefties this year, a 194 hitter. This is a spot where if you really wanted to, you got another guy that could play first base. That's a pretty fair right-hand batter. But we don't see Goldie. Rosales at third, Peralta at second, Martinez at first.
Might be a different story if the Diamondbacks didn't have a 1-run lead in this game. If it was still a tie ball game, you might have seen Goldie right here.
It's been one thing that the Diamondbacks have lacked this year, a right-hand bat off the bench. Most of their pinch hit options are left-hand batters, and it's been that way really since opening day. Hit him. 3-1 Diamondbacks. Rosales comes home and the bases are still loaded.
Avalon very nearly clipped Daniel Descalso with that big breaking ball earlier in the at-bat. Tries to come back in with a fastball here. It just tails a little bit too far and just catches a piece of that left forearm.
That might not even leave a mark, but it's good enough to get another run home. Pitching change. Back after this. Face 7 batters, 5 of them reached base, 2 scored, and Josh Raven, the right-hander, inherits a bases loaded 2-out mess in what is now a 3-1 ball game. The Diamondbacks have the lead, and the hitter is A.J. Pollock, who has 10 RBIs in his last 10 games. Peralta at third, Martinez at second, Descalso at first. A.J. has walked, reached on an error, scored a run, and struck out. He's got a 7-game hitting streak on the line. Almost threw that one to the on-deck circle. 1-0. A.J. has hit safely in 7 straight, 9 of 10. Chance to put a big crooked number up right here. This is Josh Raven's 4th stint up and down with the Dodgers this year from AAA Oklahoma City. Big cut at that fastball when it's 1-1. A.J. singled, drove in 2 runs here Monday. Singled and walked twice last night. That's a look right there. Got the eye of the tiger. Almost threw another one back there. Hoover and De La Rosa ready in the Diamondback bullpen. Dodger bullpen is quiet right now. D-backs looking for 13 wins in a row, a new franchise record. Can they sweep the Dodgers twice in a week? Along the right field line, Puig on the run, but it's in the seats.
Two outs, 2 strikes on the batter, bases loaded. All 3 runners. If they see A.J. Pollock start to swing, they should start to run. It's either going to be a swing and a miss and the inning is over. It's going to be a foul ball, or he's going to put it in play, and you're going to need to run anyway. As soon as he starts to swing, you start to run.
Takes a cut up to 2-2 and fouls it off behind Dave McKay at first. Quiet here again. Real quiet. It's been that way most of the week. Fly ball, right field. Puig backing up, still backing up. He's on the track, and he's got it. D-backs leave them loaded, but they get 2. We stretch in LA. It's 3-1 Diamondbacks. National League wild card updates. The Cardinals, Stephen Piscotty at Petco Park, San Diego. Brewers lost at Cincinnati 7-1. Cardinals lead the Padres 3-1. Milwaukee and St. Louis right now, both 3 back of Colorado. The Rockies lost to the Giants, so the Cardinals here, BB, have a chance to get out in front ahead of Milwaukee.
Who would have ever thunk it? The Cardinals were dead in the water in the first half of the season. They were nowhere to be seen in the wild card standings.
Colorado beaten up at home by the Giants tonight, so right now the lead for Torey Lovullo's Diamondbacks is 7 games over the Rockies for that right to host the National League wild card game October 4th. The ash line called to the bullpen. It's the left-hander Jorge De La Rosa to work the bottom of the 7th. Now you're wondering, all right, this is a little unusual because you've got a very good right-hand batter up there to start the inning in Yasiel Puig, but as we've mentioned earlier, Puig is completely backwards with his splits, right-handers versus left-handers. That's 1-0. Look at these numbers for Puig. He's a power-hitting right-hand batter who's done almost all of his damage against right-hand pitching. He's only homered once off a left-hand pitcher all season.
2-0.
And before we move much further into this ball game, what a tremendous job by Taijuan Walker on a night it was clearly apparent he didn't have his good command, but battled, kept his team in the ball game, gave up only the 1 run in the first inning, and shut the Dodgers offense down after that.
He retired the last 8 batters he faced. You know, once he walked Puig, Bob, to lead off the 4th, it was 8 up, 8 down, and you could see him, and we both commented on this, sort of find that rhythm, work quickly, and all of a sudden he had that attitude out there that he didn't have earlier in the ball game. Hoover has been warming up down there for a while. He's joined by the lefty Andrew Chafin. Mike Fetters, the bullpen coach, out there. Puig has singled and walked. He's been thrown out trying to steal on a perfect strike by Chris Iannetta. Look at Puig. He's been playing in the sandbox all game. He's not throwing him any fastballs. It's 3-1. Puig has grown more patient at the plate. He's done a good job of laying off breaking balls out of the strike zone. Takes a cut at that one. Swing and a miss. It's full 3-2. You ever come home from playing like that as a kid? Hey, Mom, what's for dinner?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Covered in dirt like that. Here it is on 3-2. High in the air. Peralta's out there in left.
Almost every day I came home looking like that.
I bet.
Boy, Puig just misses one right here. Gets underneath it, skies it high in the air to left field.
Hitting for the Dodgers, number 15.
Hitting himself on top of the helmet with his bat. That's probably not a good thing.
They retire Puig for the first time tonight. Chase Utley, the second baseman, is scheduled up, but here's the right-hand batting Austin Barnes, the backup catcher who also plays second base. 294, 6 home runs. Keep in mind they've already had to use Logan Forsythe at third because Justin Turner was ejected from the ball game by plate umpire Chad Fairchild. Puig is having a moment of silence for that last at bat. There's the strike, and it's 1-1. Barnes 0 for 3, couple of strikeouts in his start behind the plate here Monday night. He's done pretty well as a pinch hitter, 9 for 26. That's a 346 average. And that one hit him. That'll bring the tying run to the plate. Hernandez will hit for Peterson.
Runs that cut fastball in there a little bit too far. Actually behind Barnes that time. Hit him in the hamstring.
This is why September roster expansion must end, because you can just do all kinds of things in these critical moments in the biggest games that you could never do for 5 months. You can pinch hit at will. You can bring in one reliever after another without penalty or cost. So Hernandez off the bench to hit for Peterson. Another right-hand bat in there. Just one guy after the other. There's a million choices down there. We play 5 months under one set of rules, and then the most important month under a whole different set of rules. Seager on deck, ready to hit for the pitcher.
Showed you that shot of Corey Seager moving out into the on-deck circle. Would hit for Logan Forsythe should we get down to that 9 spot in the lineup. Been a rough night for third baseman in Major League Baseball that went to Cal State Fullerton. Justin Turner went to Cal State Fullerton. He's been ejected here tonight. And Matt Chapman, who played third base for the Oakland Athletics this afternoon against the Angels, played third base for Cal State Fullerton. He also got ejected.
They originally had Forsythe batting ninth. He's now in Turner's spot, which is third. There was some confusion about that earlier.
Well, that's what we were talking about. When did the ejection happen, and when was the pitcher inserted into the ball game? Could you double switch? And apparently Dodgers could not.
Lamb at third. Drury for one. They roll it. Jorge De La Rosa gets the double play ball. It's 3-1 D-backs through 7. Los Angeles, how about the number 9 hitters? Our Chaz Roberts air conditioning and plumbing cool plays of the game. Taijuan Walker, a 2-out RBI double in the second that tied the game at 1. And then Rosales gives them the lead, pinch hitting in the 9th spot in the 7th.
No break in the lineup tonight, all the way down to the 9 spot, guys swinging the bats.
3-1 Diamondbacks. They are 6 outs away from a new franchise record 13th consecutive win and a 4th consecutive series sweep, including 2 against these Dodgers. Hernandez stays in the game in center. Barnes stays in the game at second base. Ravens still the pitcher. Brandon Drury 0 for 3 leads off the D-backs 8th. Four straight series sweeps would be a new Diamondbacks record. They have not swept a 3-game series here at Dodger Stadium since May of 2013. They have not swept the Dodgers in 2 consecutive 3-game series since September of 2005. And during this 12-game winning streak, which has matched the franchise record, 5 of those wins have come against Dave Roberts' Dodgers. Drury laces one to third, but Forsythe makes a nice backhand grab. Takes an extra base hit away. Another good game offensively for Ketel Marte. He has singled twice, scored a run. He's now hit safely in 6 of his last 7 games. I'll give you one guess who started to warm up in the Diamondback bullpen.
The beard.
Hila corrects it. Dodgers in the 8th will have the pitcher's spot. Then Chris Taylor and Curtis Granderson 9, 1 and 2. There is Archie Bradley.
Dodgers with only 1 run. They've lost 5 straight, 10 of their last 11, and during that time they've been outscored 62-26. And LA, after the loss last night, has already lost 4 consecutive series. Well, the D-backs are looking at a 4th consecutive series sweep. The lead, if this score holds, will be 10.5 in the division. Two and 2 on the D-backs shortstop.
And as you mentioned, throughout this 3-game series, the Dodgers have the Rockies coming in here for 4 games, and then they go out on a long road trip. They're in San Francisco for 3, an off day, 3 in Washington, and then 4 in Philadelphia.
So they got to fly east. That's a big deal. Schedule makers did them no favors with an East Coast trip in September. High bouncer for Barnes at second. That's the second out here. Now Blanco is set to hit for the pitcher. First appearance in the series for Gregor Blanco. 246, 3 homers. He singled and scored a run in the win at Colorado on Sunday. And last week in a game against the Dodgers at Chase Field, he had 3 hits, including a pair of doubles. This is not a role in which Blanco has had a whole lot of success. He is 0 for 10 as a pinch hitter with 7 strikeouts. That stays fair for Bellinger at first. It's 3-1 Diamondbacks. Bottom 8 coming up. It's time to bring in the beard. Six outs away from 13 in a row. It's 3-1 Diamondbacks, and fans will remind you that Los D-backs Hispanic Heritage Day is coming up Saturday, September 9th. It's presented by Bud Light. Arrive early for the APS Street Festival from 2 to 5. We'll have food, live music, entertainment, a whole lot more. And the first 20,000 fans get the Sugar Skull bobblehead courtesy of Pepsi. Get your tickets at dbacks.com. Alex Verdugo will be the pinch hitter and lead it off in the LA 8th against Archie Bradley. It's the Ashline call to the bullpen. His 55th appearance. A 1.27 ERA. Verdugo hitting for the pitcher. After that, Chris Taylor and Curtis Granderson do up. Verdugo, the Tucson native, only 21 years old, 2 for 11 to start his big league career. Just called up for his major league debut last Friday. Struck out in his only at bat here in Monday's series opener. Archie working very quickly. Sometimes he gets a little too quick out there. There's a strike at 96.
Yeah, we've talked about it before with Archie and a number of the Diamondbacks pitchers. It's okay to work quickly between pitches. Just don't rush your delivery.
Well, we're in Los Angeles, and it was the great John Wooden who said, "Be quick, but don't hurry." Torey Lovullo, a huge John Wooden guy. He's a UCLA Bruin himself. Just fights off that fastball, and it's still 2-2. Verdugo up with rosters expanded this month. He played all year at AAA Oklahoma City. Hit .314 there and walked more than he struck out. Called strike 3. 98. He dotted it, 1 down.
Shortstop number 3, Chris Taylor.
Nothing tricky for Archie. First batter he faces gets a steady diet of high 90s fastballs. Verdugo just couldn't pull the trigger on that last one at 98.
Taylor doubled and scored to lead off the ball game for LA. He's 1 for 3. Base is empty, 1 out. There's a strike, and it's 0-1. This is a guy who's hitting about .350 versus the D-backs this year, including 3 home runs. Archie jumps ahead 0-2. Left-hander Tony Cingrani starts to get loose in the LA bullpen. Curtis Granderson on deck. Rockies have already lost, beaten at home by the Giants. The wild card lead as of this moment for the D-backs is at 7 games. Archie, it's off the glove. Tough play behind the mound. Spins and throws and gets Taylor at first. Nicely done by Archie Bradley right there.
Oh, man. That play had potential. Potential for Archie to throw it up into the second deck right here. Rushes after it, gets to the ball, spins and fires blindly right on the money to Daniel Descalso at first base.
What a throw.
Block and recover.
No such thing as a bad one. That was like a fumble in the backfield at his old quarterback days at Oklahoma. Broken arrow. Base is empty, 2 down. Granderson has walked. He's 0 for 2. Tried to finesse him that time in the first pitch. 1-0. Excuse me, check swing, high in the air. Archie's under it, and there's the high throw. He threw it into the seats. That was the inning ender right there.
How do you throw the first one right on the money?
That's amazing.
And airmail this one into the stands. Had plenty of time. It's over the head of Daniel Descalso into the front row over there.
Error goes up on the board. And now we're going to get Seager up there. 2 outs. He's the tying run at the plate. Seager singled as a pinch hitter in the 10th inning last night. 311 and 19 homers, playing with that sore right elbow, which he says does not affect him when he hits, only when he throws. Now this place has some life again. Seager hitting for Forsythe. Ronnie has been loose, the lefty in the Dodger pen. Little grounder to second. Drury on the outfield grass. And Archie escapes trouble. We head to the 9th inning. 13 in a row on the line. It's 3-1.
Backs win. Get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code DBACKS50 at papajohns.com. Maybe Archie Bradley will get a pizza tomorrow.
Not after that last throw, he won't. He threw about an 80-yard bomb there, and he just needed a little quick outlet pass. But we survived that. We hit the 9th. Cingrani, the lefty, is out there for L.A. It'll be the top of the order due up Peralta, Iannetta, and Lamb.
Number 37, Charlie.
And again, September rosters expanded. You can pinch hit a million guys, defensive changes, whatever you want. And so after hitting for Forsythe, Culberson comes in and takes over at third. Saw him at shortstop in the game on Monday. Cingrani, the pitcher, the left-hander. Peralta, who's 2 for 4 tonight, leads it off. Archie usually runs on adrenaline in these 8th innings. He was a little too jacked up on that throw. But bullet dodged. So here we go. Taylor, the shortstop, will stand right behind the second base bag. Barnes, the second baseman, on the edge of the grass. And Culberson near the bag at third. Now he starts to drift over there a bit. That fastball came to eat. 0-2. Fernando Rodney. That save number 35 last night. Worked the 10th inning through 19 pitches. So quiet now here, you can hear the car alarms. being broken into in the parking lot.
I thought I was hearing things.
No, you're not. Back to pin drop quiet in this ballpark. Either that or somebody's backing up a really long way. Two is fouled back. Chris Iannetta on deck. Jake Lamb behind him. D-backs trying to improve to a 11-8 against the Dodgers this year. They've already clinched a season series win. Strikes out Peralta. Rondal finishes that play off. One down in the ninth.
Catcher number 8, Chris Iannetta.
Here's Chris Iannetta, singled in the first, 1 for 4 tonight.
Mentioned the outstanding start by Taijuan Walker tonight. Under the circumstances, didn't have his best stuff, didn't have his best command. I give a lot of credit to Chris Iannetta. Sometimes the catcher is the first one to recognize what a pitcher has working and not working on a given night, and Chris found a way to get his starting pitcher through 6 innings of this ball game with well less than his best stuff.
He has been a tremendous addition this year. A guy, especially considering he signed fairly late, not till about the middle of January. And he has some familiarity with Taijuan, having played in Seattle last year. They really asked Chris, the Diamondbacks, when he got here, to commit to defense. You know, the home runs have been great, and he's had a terrific year offensively, but they wanted him to commit to defense, and he has embraced that from the first day. That's going to get into the seats. I mean, that throw he made to get Puig trying to steal second, you can't make a better throw than that.
Strong and accurate, didn't fade at all on its way down to second base, right on the bag.
You know, that's a big throw in a 1-1 ball game.
Not to mention the fact that if you allow Puig to get a little momentum going with how good he can be,
good point.
He can take charge of a ball game, but gunning him out at second base kind of took the wind out of his sails tonight.
A wild horse, as Vin Scully used to call him here. Fastball up, and it's 2-2. Jake Lamb on deck, 0 for 4 today. Diamondbacks, by the way, if they close out this win, will improve to 37-35 on the road this year. So it'll be 2 over 500 away from Chase. It'll be a season high 24 over 500 overall. Another really good at bat by Chris Iannetta, and he works the one-out walk.
Third baseman number 22, Jake Lamb.
Another at bat against a lefty for Jake Lamb. Boy, sometimes Jake gets in these ruts where all he sees is lefties, just one after the other.
Especially so accurately pointed out, in the month of September, you're probably going to face a lot of left-handers. Most teams have an overload of relief pitchers down in that bullpen. The Dodgers, with 14 arms available out of the bullpen, 4 of those left-handers.
It just allows you to do things you would never be able to do for the first 5 months of the year. Relief pitchers, pinch hitters, defensive substitutions. You can pull your starter in the 3rd inning. It won't matter. Just plug some other guy in there. Here's a breaking ball for a strike, and it's 0-2. lot of people hoping that that'll get sorted out over the winter time. Maybe see a limit on mound visits next year. Some new rules for September, maybe even a pitch clock. We'll see. Knocks it into right field. Iannetta moves up to second. 2 on and 1 out for J.D. Martinez. And Dave Roberts does not have a right-hander warming up in the bullpen. And this is a guy who's about a .400 hitter this year against lefties. J.D. 397 versus left-hand pitchers this season. That includes 10 home runs. There is no one warming up in the LA bullpen. He's got 7 right-handers available, none of them warming up. Well, and there's Pedro Baez. Not sure how to quantify him these days.
I don't think Dave Roberts is quite sure how to quantify Pedro Baez right now.
Yeah, and booed off the mound twice here in this series. Now once again they're trying to figure out where to put their center fielder. We've seen this throughout this series with the Dodgers. Hernandez is jumping around back there like he's got ants in his pants. Where do I go? This happened last night with Bellinger in center field. Now he's sort of settled in, shaded over toward right center a bit. Zoom ball. Grandal had to go up there to get that rebound. 1-1. J.D. tonight 0 for 3. He has struck out twice. He got an intentional walk his last time up. Iannetta the runner at second. Lamb at first. That's on a plane. It's 1-2. J.D. has 43 hits since the All-Star break. 29 of them are for extra bases. That's about double league average. Oh boy, Roberts let the lefty face Martinez there, and he got away with it. Time tonight, J.D. is struck out.
Baseman number 3, Daniel Descalso.
A fastball up above the belt that time. We know J.D.'s a real good low ball hitter. Cingrani went right up the ladder and got the swing and a miss.
Descalso has walked. He was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded in the 7th. It's a tough way to get an RBI, but it was a big one. Pitch really barely grazed his forearm. Dodgers in the bottom half of the 9th inning will have some of their heads of state due up. Cody Bellinger, Yasmani Grandal, and Yasiel Puig. So that's the heart of the order. 4, 5, and 6 against Fernando Rodney. Check swing foul, and it's 1-2. Just missed away with that fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Sometimes you can tell by the reaction of the pitcher that they expected the hitter to swing at that pitch.
See that from Zach Greinke a lot.
Oh yeah, hey, you're supposed to swing at that one. When I throw that pitch right there on that outside corner with a little bit of movement, you're supposed to chase it.
Thought about chasing that one, didn't go, says Tim Timmons. Full count 3-2. A.J. Pollock would be next. There go the runners. Descalso hits a high fly ball. Puig in right field backing up, and he's got it just shy of the warning track. So here we go. 3 outs away from a franchise record 13 straight. And Fernando Rodney's on the way in. For the home half of the 9th inning, Steve Berthew, Bob Brenly, and Jody Jackson with you. It's our Gila River game summary. Taijuan Walker, it wasn't pretty there for a while for Taijuan, but he really did a good job hanging in, as Bob has pointed out. Retired the last 8 batters he faced after a shaky start. Kept the Dodgers to only 1 run, and that's where we are right now, as the D-backs go for a franchise record 13th consecutive win. And the closer is on. He got save number 35 here last night. It's Fernando Rodney.
And as you said a moment ago, he's going to have to work his way through the teeth of this Dodgers order. Bellinger, Grandal, and Puig.
Fernando last night threw 19 pitches in working the 10th inning. David Hernandez got the win. Rodney the save. And Bellinger will lead it off. Gonzalez looking at a bat in the Dodger dugout. Bellinger gets first crack. He has an RBI fielder's choice, a single. He's flied out to center. "13 wins in a row would be a new franchise record. 4 consecutive series sweeps would also be a new franchise record. They have not swept the Dodgers in 2 consecutive 3-game series since September of 2005. D-backs have the shift on. Both Marte, Drury, Descalso all on the right side of the infield, and there's strike 1.
Chase that split changeup, and quickly Rodney's ahead 0-2. Bellinger, despite all the highlight reel homers in his march to the NL Rookie of the Year award, he's only hit about 170 versus the Diamondbacks this year. Fouls that one off. He's down 1 homer versus the D-backs. Cali native, grew up in Chandler. Dad Clay is now a firefighter in Gilbert, and Monty Grandal, who homered last night, will be next. Trying to get him to chase that splitter. 2-2. Got him. Fernando Rodney. There is that split changeup. He's been throwing that for nearly 2 decades.
Yasmani Grandal.
A couple in the dirt that Bellinger was able to lay off of, then elevated one about belt high out over the plate. Had to look very tempting to Cody Bellinger, but way out in front of that off-speed delivery.
One big box checked off there. Here's Grandal, who's 0 for 3. His home run last night was the Dodgers' only run in the ball game. Missed with a fastball. No shift here by the D-backs. Defenders pretty much straight away. Rodney behind 2-0.
Occasionally that split finger locked almost like a screwball. It has fading action away from a left-handed hitter. I think Rodney at times kind of turns that pitch, rotates his wrist inward when he releases the ball to get that action away from a left-handed hitter.
Yeah, that previous pitch, you're right, really dropped down and away from Grandal. But now he's behind 3-1. Yasiel Puig on deck. Fastball's a strike, full count, 3-2. Struck him out. 2 strikeouts for Fernando Rodney, and Puig is the last man standing.
Boy, it's hard to describe to a casual fan how hard it is to hit at the major league level when a guy's fastball is upwards to 95 miles an hour and that changeup seems like it's never going to get to the plate. He just caught in between. If you sit on the fastball, you're going to be way out in front of the changeup. If you wait on the changeup, he'll zip the fastball by you. Pretty amazing for a 2-pitch guy to confuse hitters the way Fernando Rodney does.
Bounce to first. Descalso is there. And the Diamondbacks have done something they've never done before. They've won 13 games in a row. Their 4th consecutive series sweep, all against National League West opponents.
Well, that'll make that long flight back to Phoenix a lot more fun tonight.
The Dodgers continue to scuffle. They've lost 6 straight, 11 of their last 12, and their National League West Division lead is down to 10.5 games. The D-backs finished the season 11-8 against Los Angeles. They are now 24 games over 500 for the year. They've won 13 straight and 15 of their last 16. They sweep a 3-game series in this ballpark for the first time since May of 2013. And they sweep the Dodgers in back-to-back 3-game series for the first time since September of '05. The D-backs winning streak continues.